What's up, North County? We got your Backstage Pass with all things music in the North County and beyond. I'm Sean Logan, and my co-host is Randy Doty.
Hey, excited to be here, man. Excited to be here.
Nice, nice. Well, today on the show, we've got Bob Liepman, also known as Cello Bob. But before we get to Cello Bob, let's talk about some music coming up this week.
Cello Bob, man. Cello Bob's in the house.
Yeah.
I dig it. There's a lot of stuff going on, and the weather is ready for it.
Oh, yeah, man, that last weekend was really great. It really kind of cracked it open for the whole upcoming spring.
Right? I mean, what better night? Warm music, your favorite hydration, right?
Yeah. We're getting time for all that good stuff. It was actually sunny, ready to roll. So I didn't go see any music this weekend, but, it made me think about it.
Well, everybody's kicking it off, man. That's what we got here. Is we got the report for what is kicking off this weekend.
Well, let me start it off with the Poorhouse in Paso Robles.
Nice. Love that place.
Yep, right there next to the railroad tracks at the south end of town. On Friday night, we've got Tally and the Troublemakers. This is dance tunes from the 80s through today.
Everybody loves to dance to the 80s.
That's it. Then on Saturday, it's the Jammies. This only happens once or twice a year, and it's always an absolute party. So get ready to party with the Jammies on Saturday. Then on Sunday is the Moonstone Band. They're a 5-member band inspired and rooted in rock and roll classics.
Very cool, man. That's like I said, Paso is like almost the North County direction for music right now. All the different venues have their music playing pretty much all week long, really.
They've got little things here and there. The weekends, the big kicker, but some of them's got some acoustic nights, some soloists, some jam nights. So they're trying to keep it going.
Very cool. Well, hey, kicking off this weekend at the Club Car Bar, you have Sean Clark Family Band with Michael Peters and the Monsters and a fistful of nickels. So you don't want to miss this because this is going to be a night of country. $10 tickets to get in, all ages. So Club Car Bar here in downtown Templeton is kicking ass. They are bringing in some great acts. You don't want to miss this. Of course, we had Sam Outlaw on here last week, which played down there at Club Car Bar.
I went to that show actually. Yeah. It was really packed.
I heard it was sold out.
I believe it. Yeah, it was shoulder to shoulder when he was playing. The whole band put on a great show. The keyboard player actually was from San Luis Obispo. I think he mentioned that in the interview. But he had a handful of people, there specifically for him. But great show. The whole band did a really good job.
Oh, very cool. Well, kicking off the weekend at Rock and Robles out there in Heritage Ranch out there at the lakes, you got none other than Eric McCornack and Soundhouse.
Nice.
Which this is going to be their 1-year anniversary out there at the Rock and Robles, which they took over a year ago, obviously. Kind of had some, brought back some great food because it has really good burgers, really good pizza, and the food there is phenomenal. So you got to get out there, and Eric's going to rock the house.
Yeah, that's a really cool spot out there. Well, let's swing it back over here. So the Cal Coast Beer Company on Friday night has Whitey Morgan. He's an outlaw country singer and is back for one night only with an acoustic set. And this show is sold out. So if you don't got tickets, you ain't going.
If you ain't got one, you ain't going.
Yeah, that's it. Then on Saturday, we've got Soul Effect. So we know Soul Effect because David was in here with his trumpet in an interview. Mm-hmm. And then we know Brian as well, singing band. But they'll be playing there Saturday. And they're a 6-piece band that does upbeat covers and originals with a funk, blues, jazz, and rock feel.
Very cool, and they're a local favorite too.
Yeah, they're getting a bigger following each week. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, over in Morro Bay at the Siren, you have Mini Nova, which Kenny Lee Lewis from Steve Miller Band. He kicks off that with the 4-piece Latin jazz funk explosion of rhythm and melody that's danceable and sophisticated, which you want to jam with that. And then Saturday night, you have Marcy Jean and the Fever featuring Carl Sonny Leland. An evening of jump blues, so you bring your dance shoes.
Well, Kenny Lee, he's been also on the program, so we got a bunch
Yeah.
of guys who've been here that are going to be playing out this week. So speaking of that, rolling over to Barrel House Brewing Company, we have on Friday. Did you have one more?
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. On Friday we have Tina Marie. I'm not familiar with her, but on Saturday we have a No Tangiers band, and they're force in the world of Americana roots music with influences ranging from folk to country to rock to blues. So if you liked what you saw when she was in here a couple weeks ago, she's got the full band and she'll be there on Saturday.
And she's playing where?
This is at the Barrel House.
Barrel House. Okay, so she can rip some Dolly Parton. She can rip some Johnny Cash, which she played here that night.
She'll probably be playing all those on Saturday for sure.
And then she'll be backed up with a band, too.
Yeah, so probably originals, some covers, a little bit of everything.
That's awesome. Well, everybody's ready for Vina Robles, right?
Right.
So we've got several things kicking off with Vina Robles. We got April 27th, we got ZZ Top coming to town.
Nice.
May 4th, we got War. July 7th, you have Primus, right? August 8th, you have the Los Lobos and the Lonely Boys kicking it over. August 24th, you have Robert Plant and Alison Krauss. Krauss?
Close enough.
Close enough. August 29th, you have none other than the Beach Boys,
Awesome.
right? And then September 18th, you have Bonnie Raitt, which, I mean, all of these are local legends, just world legends, really, in the musical industry.
Classic lineup there
So-
for sure.
Yeah, well, cool. That's all I got on that one.
Okay, good, good. So moving over to Mid-State Fair. Again, we got the usual suspects that we know about. Sunday, July 21st, Zach Brown Band. Tuesday, July 23rd, Jelly Roll.
Jelly Roll.
Then Wednesday, July 24th, Nickelback. But we have a new addition.
Uh-oh.
Not new edition, the band, but a new edition. Thursday, July 25th, TLC and Shaggy.
So, Shaggy, do you know who Shaggy is?
Not really.
So, my son had to play me some songs because I'm like, I don't know who the heck Shaggy is.
Yeah, there's one song that I know.
But then they started, playing the song, and of course I do,
Right.
because I don't know name, but I know song and beat, and
Yeah.
of course it's a party favorite, and you're jamming those tunes at nighttime, whether you're at the lake, on the boat, whatever it is, but Shaggy and then TLC is old school, right?
Yeah, they're from the 90s.
90s, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they go to the 80s, but the 90s, yeah. And all those tickets go on sale this Friday. So if you're interested in going to the show, make sure you get your tickets on Friday, 10 a.m. But if you're local and got the connection through the fair, you can buy them at 9 a.m.
Yeah, locals only, the local only discount or access to buy
Right,
before
access
the
to
rest of the
buy.
worlds and all the bots.
Right.
So who do we got today? We got Cello Bob. Tell me about Cello Bob.
Well, Cello Bob, he's a celloist, among other things. He plays a few other instruments, I believe, but he's been playing music for most of his life, up in this area and down south, I believe. But we'll get into his story here in a minute, but why don't we throw it to Cello Bob?
Sounds good to me.
And he can play us a little bit on the way to a commercial.
What's up, North County? This is Teresa Branch with Airflow Filter Service. We are a family-owned business right here in the North County. We have air filters, oils and lubricants, and hydraulic hoses. We provide services that include air filter cleaning, DPF cleaning, and waste oil collection. Come check us out at 1140 Ramada Drive, and we can help you with all your automotive and industrial vehicle needs.
I might want to button that one. I think you unbuttoned it.
Hello, hello. Oh, you want me to button that?
Cello Bob, thanks for coming in. We appreciate having you.
Thanks for inviting me, Sean.
Yeah, of course. Let's get right into it. What got you started playing music?
Well, my mother gave me a choice, violin, viola, or cello.
Okay.
And so I picked the cello. I don't remember why, because it was so long ago.
Gotcha. And that was when you were pretty young then?
That was 5th grade.
5th grade, okay.
Yeah. But I had my grandparents on my mother's side played in Boston Symphony. On my dad's side, his brother ran music at MIT, so, all the kids had music lessons.
Wow.
Yeah.
So take us a little bit further down the road. So you're in 5th grade, you start playing. What happens when you get into junior high, high school?
High school had no music department, so then I was playing with local youth symphony, string quartets, and about that time I wanted to be in a band. So I would take my sister's acoustic guitar and tune it like a cello, and then go hang out in my friend's garage and start learning how to play rhythm, and ended up playing in Hollywood quite a lot with the band, and we signed with Fantasy Records, and our peak was number 43 in Stockton, our single. And I'm condensing a bunch of years into a very short description. Wound up in Venice, California, because that was the low-rent district back at the time, and joined a group called the Venice Canaligators,
Okay.
which is very much country blues, earthy music. We played on the Venice boardwalk. Of course, you could make enough to pay your rent in half a day in those days.
Nice.
And went down to New Orleans quite a lot for Mardi Gras and Jazz Fest.
Wow.
Just kind of around. Then I met Wendy, who's this wonderful songwriter from Pittsburgh. And I said, well, if I marry a songwriter, I can quit the band. And we've been married 38 years.
Wow.
And we just played at the Bunker last week and put out 7 albums, recorded a lot at Rick Sutton's studio.
Rick was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you play any other instruments?
There is an instrument that's tuned like a cello in fifths, if that means 5 notes between strings. It's called a mandocello, and a version of that is octave mandolin, and I play that.
And did you play that in the bands around high school time, or was it strictly cello? Or
The cello I only brought in occasionally, because in a rock and roll band you don't often see a cello.
sure.
But every time I thought I had to abandon it, the Beatles would come out with a new song that featured the cello, like I Am the Walrus or Eleanor Rigby, and so I just kind of kept going with it.
So you mentioned Venice a minute ago and Southern California. Is that where you grew up, or did you transplant to there at some
Yeah, I
point?
transplanted from Ann Arbor, Michigan. My dad was an aeronautical
Go
engineer.
Wolverines. Go Wolverines.
Hail to the victor. And I know the song.
Okay.
But those were cold winters.
Oh, yeah.
Those football players would hit the ground, they'd slide until they hit a bench. But they had the best marching band in town, and I think my rhythm sense is partly due to listening to the Michigan marching band, which was always kind of in the air.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you made your way to Venice over there, and you started playing in some bands. And Did you start writing original music at that point, or at what point did you begin the journey of original music?
Well, Wendy is responsible for most of all the songs that we perform as Bob and Wendy.
Okay.
And I did write a few songs of my own. I'd go play them at the Troubadour on open mic night. And but then when I married Wendy, her songs were so much better than mine. I just fell into the role of accompanying her, coming up with cello parts and mando cello parts, and helping arrange them for the studio.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So the Troubadour, tell us a little bit about that. You got to play the Troubadour on some nights?
They had open mic nights, so they had a schedule, maybe 6 or 8 different acts. And every now and then, I'd been there enough times that if somebody canceled at the last minute, I'd get a phone call and say, can you be here at 9:30? We do a 20-minute set. So I'd run up there, go up there without giving it much thought and just play whatever I knew. And those days, there was so much going on at the Troubadour. I mean,
What time frame is this now?
early 70s.
Early 70s, okay.
I know I don't look old enough, but
Right.
but bands like the Eagles were forming. The 2 members were called Long Branch Penny Whistle. They performed as a duo. Tom Waits was often sitting in the bar.
Linda Ronstadt.
Linda Ronstadt.
Yeah.
They were all there. So I was around all these people who became famous, and somehow I missed that boat. But that's okay. Now I live in San Luis Obispo, which I love.
Did you ever jam with any of those people that eventually became huge?
I did. Who's the Chambers Brothers? Were playing at a club on Sunset Boulevard called The Experience that maybe Jimi Hendrix had something to do with, I'm not sure. But I just started a brand new job at UCLA. My first day was coming up. I was playing the Troubadour the night before. I got invited to go jam with the Chambers Brothers. I think around 3 or 4 in the morning, I said, hey guys, I'm starting my new job at 7:30, so I better go. But it worked out. I stayed at UCLA for 8.5 years.
And was that job music related?
Yeah, medical billing. No, I took entry-level job at the hospital and learned how to do, billing for doctors. And
Gotcha. So what was the transition to get you up into the Central Coast area?
Wendy and I got married, and we wanted to have a family, and she had just become an occupational therapist, and I'd been doing medical billing long enough that I thought I could start my own business. And we just said, wouldn't it be nice to do it somewhere other than Los Angeles? And my parents retired to San Luis Obispo, and we'd come up and look around. We saw a little coffee house like Linnea's where they had acoustic music, and there was a great music scene here, and we loved the nature and the beach and all that. So never looked back.
Nice.
That was in the late 80s.
Late 80s,
Yeah.
okay. So you're also in the band Carbon City Lights, right?
Just when I thought I'd had all my rock and roll days behind me, I sat in with Michael Vigna and Brett of Carbon City Lights, Brett Heenan, at I think a Songwriters at Play at Seven Sisters or something like that. And they invited me to join the band. That was 3-4 years ago. And we have a lot of fun. We do a lot of great gigs. We play a lot of wineries. We're playing Sunken Garden for the beer festival this coming Saturday afternoon.
Okay, great.
And they pretty much are self-contained 4-piece rock band. And so I get to sit there with my cello and say, what would George Martin do here? And come up with cello parts. And lately we've having Christian on keyboards from Damon Castillo's band. So the calendar's filling up for the spring and summer.
That's great.
Yeah.
Does then the Carbon City Lights band, have they put out CDs, recorded originals as well?
They have CDs that they bring to shows that they give away, because all of their music is streaming online and people want to hear them. They just go to carboncitylights.com. They can listen to a lot of singles and albums that have been released. And Michael, the lead singer and writer, is always coming up with new material. And we have a big selection of cover songs too that people love.
Is there plans in the works for a new recording?
I think Michael is always planning new recordings. I think we're actually in the middle of a series of single releases.
I see.
Yeah.
I know you've also played on guest appearances on other musicians' CDs and stuff. Can you just rattle off some of the bands or artists that you've played with?
Jill Knight, Jude Johnstone, Cassie Nichols, Noak Tandris, Tim Jackson did a series of songs that I absolutely loved and played cello on them that's recorded at Ted Waterhouse's studio. You know, everyone knows all these names because they're all locals. Richard Green has me play cello occasionally, and he produced the first Bob and Wendy album in Atascadero. And I recently did a session, I won't mention the artist, but she wanted cello on this song. It was about a recent breakup that she just had. And Tyson Leonard was the engineer, and she was in the other room playing the acoustic guitar just to give me something to play along with. And she'd get halfway through a verse and stop. You know, we couldn't see her. She'd start up again, then she'd stop, and Tyson looks at me and says, "Do you think she's okay?" The problem was, this breakup was so recent that she couldn't get through the song, just even playing acoustic guitar. And she came out and she was very apologetic. I said, you know, when there's passion like this in the music, then you know it's worth doing. So I said, just record your part when you're ready. I'll come back up and do the cello. And then Tyson added violin. It sounds great.
Nice.
Hasn't been released yet, so you have to take my word for it.
Okay, will do. I also believe I saw that you were part of the Carbon City Lights that got a New Times Award. Is that correct?
We did. It seems like I go to the New Times Awards fairly regularly, either with Bob and Wendy or people I've played with. Mm-hmm. And that's always a great time because it's when all the musicians are in the same room at the same time.
Right.
Which is not often the case.
That's great.
And I'll also mention, since I played a little classical music, that I'm in the San Luis Chamber Orchestra.
Oh, okay.
And we're an all-volunteer orchestra. We just gave a concert on Sunday. It's well attended. There's 65 people in the orchestra.
Wow,
Bryn Albanese played solo violin.
That's great.
Yeah.
Speaking of shows, what's a venue or a show that you've played at that you're most proud of?
I played cello with a songwriter who is now in Nashville but lived in Cambria for 20 years, Jude Johnstone. And she wrote songs that famous people recorded, including Johnny Cash, Bonnie Raitt, and she wrote this song called Wounded Heart that Bonnie Raitt recorded on one of her albums.
Wow.
And then Bonnie called up Jude and says, "Hey, why don't you and that cello player of yours come and open 4 shows?" So we did Fresno, Modesto, Santa Cruz, and Thousand Oaks. That was the first time I walked out on stages in front of 2,500 people.
Wow.
Of course, all our shows sell out. So that was an experience.
Well, as mentioned earlier in the show, she's going to be playing Vina Robles.
I heard that.
You know, maybe you're going to get another call or something.
Well, I don't think that's how it works. I don't know how it works.
Well, maybe you guys need to call them.
Yeah. But there's another story if you have a minute. She played Avila once, and she wanted Jude to come and open up that show. So, different tour. And she wanted to do Wounded Heart, which was the song I played cello on Jude's demo, which Bonnie then heard and recorded. And right the day before the show, I said, I wonder if Bonnie does it differently than Jude. You know, Jude wrote it in the key of F. I played it in the key of F. I went on YouTube and saw a live version of Bonnie Raitt. She does it in G.
Okay.
So we're backstage at the show, and I say, "Hey, Jude, Bonnie sings it in G." Jude says, "I can't play it in G. I wrote it in F." And then the stage manager said, "Oh, there's a button on this keyboard. you can play it in F, and this will transpose it into the key of G.
Nice.
So the cello comes in, first note on the second verse. It starts. Bonnie actually stopped right at the beginning, asked Jude to start over. Just kind of, hey, let's start that again. Get to the first note of the second verse. I played the G. It wasn't working. That transposing thing did not work. So we were in the key of F. After the show, everyone's crowded around Bonnie. She's about to get on the tour bus and leave, and I went up and said, by the way, Wounded Heart was an F. And she said, no wonder I flubbed the beginning. That was it.
Nice.
But she was super gracious. If anyone gets a chance to play with Bonnie Raitt, do it.
Yeah, that sounds like an awesome gig.
Yeah.
Well, let's hit a commercial right now, and we'll have more with Cello Bob.
Hi, this is Dave Story, small game hunter with Story Termite and Pest. We're a full-service termite and pest control company. From rodents to termites, we can take care of all your pest control needs. Call today, we can tailor a pest control program that will meet your needs and budget. Contact us at 805-460-0650 or at storytermite.com. Remember, we don't have customers, we have friends.
Hi, welcome to Kennedy Club Fitness, where we have something for everyone. We have weights, cardio, group exercise classes, racquetball, basketball, swimming, and pickleball coming soon. Here at Kennedy, we're committed to health, wellness, and community. Stop by any of our 4 locations: Paso Robles, Atascadero, San Luis Obispo, and Arroyo Grande, or check out our website at kennedyclubs.com.
Back with Cello Bob. So, Cello Bob, if you could jam with one musician or band, who would it be?
I've never really been asked that question, but maybe, going back, of course, John Lennon, maybe the Kinks.
What about people that are alive? Someone that you
people
actually...
that are alive. Well, I'm just
Yeah, yeah.
barely alive. But,
Yeah.
people who are up, Bonnie Raitt, of course. I'd love to go play Vina Robles with her. Maybe you could arrange that. Really, anybody who comes along and says, hey, I hear cello on this song, I try to accommodate them. Even if they detune their guitars a half step, like a certain band I know called Rusted Stone.
Right.
And so, yeah, I think it's a great challenge every time to come up with the right cello part. And you don't have to be Yo-Yo Ma and play in front of a symphony orchestra to accomplish what that songwriter has in mind. You just have to sound like a cello.
Right, right. And to elaborate, so Cello Bob played on a song of Rusted Stones off the last CD. We did an acoustic version of a song, and Bob was kind enough to come to the studio and lay down some tracks for us.
Yeah, and that time at the New Times Music Award, you guys were there getting an award.
Yep, yep.
And right before we started doing this show, I said, was that song the one I played on? And Sean said, no.
Not that one, but it's okay. You still did a great job, and that song turned out
Thanks.
great. You touched on it a little bit before, but can you tell us about the Bob and Wendy project?
We played at the Bunker, which is a new art gallery music venue in San Luis Obispo, a week ago. And we'd played there previously in December. They're just trying to get the music going, and it's a great room.
So does she sing, play an
She
instrument?
sings,
or?
plays a 0018 Martin guitar that she got from her mother.
Okay.
And she's a prolific songwriter. Of course, there are little dry spells where she gets, maybe I'll never write again, but she always does. And for this particular show, we went way back and played a song that she wrote when she was 13.
Wow.
And it fit right into everything else. She's a great songwriter, and you can hear Bob and Wendy on Spotify or any other streaming service, so if you want to check it out.
Okay, great. Well, looking ahead, you've mentioned a couple gigs, but is there anything that you want to promote or tell us about that's coming up?
I would say right now the Carbon City Light gigs are really fun. You know, some of them you have to pay to get in, but a lot of them are free. Like what's the one in Los Osos on the golf course? Sea Pines.
Oh, Sea Pines, okay.
Yeah. And we're going back to Harmony Cellars, which absolutely loves this band. They always book us once at the beginning of the season, once at the end of the season. And if you haven't been up there for live music, it's beautiful. It's on the hill. The ocean is just over the hill. It's in the town of Harmony.
Okay. Well, we'll look forward to those dates, and you can check out on Facebook and a website as well, or?
Yeah, bobwendy.com and then carboncitylights.com.
Perfect, perfect.
And do you have one more minute?
Yeah.
There's a unique project I'm involved with that's going to be an album release at Claiborne and Churchill Winery this coming Friday. The tasting room manager, Brooke Monroe, is also a film composer, and he spent 2 years recording an album with the sounds of the harvest. So it not only has instruments, it has, you know, barrels being pounded and wine glasses being bowed,
Really?
and tractors in the background and birds in the vineyard. And we have a string quartet put together. He's playing all kinds of electronic effects on the guitar, and there's a percussionist, and it's going to be amazing. The name of the album is Harvest in 12 Parts, and that's already out on Spotify.
And when is that?
That's coming up Friday.
Oh, this Friday, huh?
Yeah, it's going to be catered show, and a documentary was made of the making of this album, and it got accepted by the Slow Film Festival.
That's great. Yeah.
So I'm playing cello and providing the PA system.
Okay. Well, sounds like you got a busy schedule up ahead.
It's super busy.
Well, let's hit another commercial, and when we come back, we'll hear more from Cello Bob.
What's up, North County? Nate Santos here, owner of Santos Bros Plumbing. You might recognize me with my dancing horses at local events such as the Tascadero Tamale Festival, Templeton 4th of July, and Paso Pioneer Day. I am now available for all your home plumbing service and repair needs, from minor drips and drops to emergency leaks and clogs. For the best plumbing service, call Santos Bros Plumbing, pipe wranglers to the rescue.
Atascadero isn't your standard getaway. We're unique, just like you. We're growing, transforming, and figuring it out as we go. We're a town filled with innovators, artists, makers, and game changers. We're a little bit country, a little bit funky, and always authentic. We're here for your good times, your slow times, and your changing times. We're all in Atascadero. Come see for yourself. Learn more at visitatascadero.com.
With us today, And thanks for Cello Bob for coming in today. We'd also like to thank our sponsors today, which include Escalar Wines, Wine Travelers Hideaway, Kennedy Club Fitness, Visit Atascadero, 805 Customs, Airflow Filter Service, Pacific 805 Spas, Hanson Enterprises, Borhone Auto Center, Story Termite and Pest Control, and Santos Brothers Plumbing. Tune in on Monday this upcoming week, not Tuesday, but Monday, and we've got Scott Byram coming in. He'll be playing the Club Car Bar next Tuesday, so be sure to check us out.
Hi, this is Dave Story, small game hunter with Story Termite and Pest. We're a full-service termite and pest control company. From rodents to termites, we can take care of all your pest control needs. Call today, we can tailor a pest control program that will meet your needs and budget. Contact us at 805-460-0650 or at storytermite.com. Remember, we don't have customers, we have friends.
Hi, welcome to Kennedy Club Fitness, where we have something for everyone. We have weights, cardio, group exercise classes, racquetball, basketball, swimming, and pickleball coming soon. Here at Kennedy, we're committed to health, wellness, and community. Stop by any of our 4 locations: Paso Robles, Atascadero, San Luis Obispo, and Arroyo Grande, or check out our website at kennedyclubs.com.
What's up, North County? This is Teresa Branch with Airflow Filter Service. We are a family-owned business right here in the North County. We have air filters, oils and lubricants, and hydraulic hoses. We provide services that include air filter cleaning, DPF cleaning, and waste oil collection. Come check us out at 1140 Ramada Drive, and we can help you with all your automotive and industrial vehicle needs.
Atascadero isn't your standard getaway. We're unique, just like you. We're growing, transforming, and figuring it out as we go. We're a town filled with innovators, artists, makers, and game changers. We're a little bit country, a little bit funky, and always authentic. We're here for your good times, your slow times, and your changing times. We're all in Atascadero. Come see for yourself. Learn more at visitatascadero.com.
What's up, North County? Nate Santos here, owner of Santos Bros Plumbing. You might recognize me with my dancing horses at local events such as the Atascadero Tamale Festival, Templeton 4th of July, and Paso Pioneer Day. I am now available for all your home plumbing service and repair needs, from minor drips and drops to emergency leaks and clogs. For the best plumbing service, call Santos Bros Plumbing, Pipe Wranglers